Hello, this is Jamie from Shamrock World, and today I have a really nice treat for everybody. So today is Monday, August 16th, 2021, and I'm so excited that my YouTube channel has finally reached 5,000 subscribers. I'm really excited about that. I'm really thankful for everybody subscribing, watching my videos, liking it, commenting, sharing. I really love growing exotic fruits. I love exploring new ones, and I have a lot more videos to show you guys, and I'm really thankful for everybody watching as long as you have and subscribing and just interacting with my channel. So as a treat for everybody, I'm going to show you what's growing currently in August 2021 here in Central Texas, Zone 8B. A lot of things have happened this year, especially in Texas. The biggest event was back in February. Texas experienced a statewide freeze event. That changed a lot of my current trees as well as the ones that I've been following for several years. A lot of them were impacted, but now a lot of them have regrown and recovered from that big event. And then also I'm discovering more fruit trees, more seeds. I have a lot more projects that are currently in the works, so definitely stay tuned for more videos. I hope to get those out pretty soon. I'll also continue to do updates for the Cherimoyas, the jackfruits, tamarinds, and the dragon fruit. So there are a lot more videos in store, so I hope you guys stick around and continue to watch and subscribe to my channel. And of course, if you guys don't want to wait too long for an update, I encourage everybody to follow my Instagram and Facebook pages. So that's Shamrock Girl World on Instagram and Facebook. I post there several times a week. I usually post about new plants, new development, new growth. I also post whether trees are currently fruiting. So if you want up-to-date news, definitely follow my Instagram and Facebook pages. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and show you guys what's been growing here in Central Texas. So everything has been doing very well here. The weather has been great, and I'm really excited to show you guys what's been growing. So let's get started. Hello, so first I'm going to show you guys one of several stations that I have my exotic fruits. So this station right here is the mostly shade spot. Of course, it's 6 o'clock in the evening, and of course the sun will hit these plants. But for the most part, throughout the day, it's shady here. So this is where I transplant everything. This is also where I store new seeds because it's safe enough for them. So let me go ahead and start over here. And a lot of these are my parents' plants. We have, of course, elephant ears over here. Looks like a roselle hibiscus, blackberries, rosemary, peach trees. So we have a lot of trees here. So let me start at this spot right here. So these are tamarins. These are, I believe these are 2.5 years old. These have been in a air-proof container. They did die from the freeze, but they've grown back. So there's 6 of them in here. I think there's 5 now. So these right here are my newest seeds. They're sugar apples. So today is Monday. I planted these back on Friday, and I planted about 316 sugar apple seeds. So it's currently sugar apple season, and I really want to have more seedlings. So these are one of several containers with sugar apples. I'm going to come over here. So these are more sugar apples. We have these ghost succulents right here. These guys did very well throughout the year. This table has like assorted plants. Again, some more sugar apples. This right here is a Fuyu persimmon. When did I start this? Oh, in June. Okay. So yeah, this is a Fuyu persimmon. These are Ponderosa lemons. These guys are looking good. Something's eating off of them, but it's okay. So these plants right here are my newest project. So what I'm doing is rooting dragon fruit cuttings. I'm rooting them in water and putting them on a heat pad, give them rooting hormone, and they've been rooting in the water. So a few weeks ago I put these cuttings here, and now a few weeks later they're already rooting. And I put them in here probably about 3 weeks ago or so, and they're rooting really nicely. So probably in another week or two, I am going to transplant these into larger containers. I currently have a batch in my apartment that are rooting. I'm going to transplant these cuttings out of here, put them in larger containers, bring those ones in the apartment, bring them here so that they can get some roots. This is a new fun project. These look like Ecuador pylorus, and this one right here is a Zamorano dragon fruit. The other batch has more varieties, but yeah, these are Definitely Ecuador pylorus. This is a dwarf pomegranate seedling. So this one is actually a second generation. So that seedling is the second generation. I'll show you the parent tree in a little bit. We have some passion fruits. I have a bunch of moon cactuses. I've been collecting those this year because, believe it or not, the green part is actually dragon fruit. So it's an easy, cheap, simple way to get dragon fruit. And what happened was back in May was a really rainy month and some of the moon cactuses rotted off, but they rotted off and allowed these cuttings to grow. So this is a really cheap and inexpensive way to get dragon fruits. And a lot of department stores have these, and as long as you remove the color part, you can have a little, likely a Vietnam white, pink skin, white flesh dragon fruit. So this is what I've been doing, and I have quite a few of these growing like this. So I have a Cherimoya. These guys have been struggling a little bit. One of the few jackfruits, my jackfruits didn't survive the freeze very well, so these are some of the few that grew back. Here's a Christmas cactus, some more Cherimoyas. This is an Easter cactus. These are Fuyu persimmons. These are a little older. These are looking really nice. Right here is a white sapote. I have quite a few of those. White sapote. This is a sapodilla from March. So it's looking really, really good. Here's some more sugar apples. Again, more Cherimoyas and dragon fruit seedlings. So as we come over here, let me show you what recently happened. So this is it's labeled as a Seleniaceras, but it might be an epiphyllum. I'm not quite sure. But actually, 2 nights ago, these actually bloomed for the first time. And coincidentally, I discovered these blooms on Friday. I hadn't been paying attention to this plant, and I didn't notice that there were 3 flowers forming on it. This one bloomed Friday night into Saturday morning, and then these 2 bloomed Saturday night into Sunday morning. So I was able to see these 2 and get good pictures, so I'm really excited about that. I did hand pollinate them. I don't know if it'll do anything, but I'd rather do that than not. So I was able to see these beautiful blooms for the first time. So this is the second station. This is a full sun during the afternoon, and this is where I have most of my larger container plants. So if we start with here, this is a pink guava tree. I bought this last week. It burned in the car, so that's what happened. But I bought this last week, pink guava. This is a star cherry tree. I bought it last week too. And if we start over here, this right here is a miracle berry, and it is flowering for the first time. I've had this plant, I believe, since May, if not June. So I'm really excited to see how this one grows. All of these are star fruits, various ages. These are a year and a half old. These are just about a year. All of these right here are red pomelos. So red pomelos. I have a Mexican plum from seed. These are a year and a half old. Where'd you go? That's a sapodilla, regrew from the freeze. So this plant right there, that is a Fuyu persimmon. So right here are black sapotes. It's a new fruit to me, and I had these back in March. So these are all black sapote seedlings, and they look awesome. They look really good. Some more star fruit. These are mandarin quats. All these right here are white sapotes. They're getting eaten off of by a swallowtail caterpillar that looks like bird poop. So they've been assaulted, but they've been growing back very nicely. Some more red pomelos. Right here are cocktail grapefruits. These are a year and a half old. This is a 2-year-old Cherimoya. Back here is a 2-year-old sapodilla. It's really small. It's very slow growing. This plant right here is citron, one of few citrons that I have. These 2 are white sapotes. They're my largest one. They could actually go into full sun right now. Another sapodilla from seeds. These are more Fuyu persimmons. And then these right here are epiphyllums. I've had this largest one, I believe, since January. So these guys are looking really good. I have a fishbone or rickrack cactus. This right here is the 2-year-old Italian chestnut, and this is a mulberry. We have mulberries popping up in containers right now, so this is a mulberry. Okay, so right here are some dragon fruit cuttings. I've been buying a lot of different dragon fruit varieties, and here we have, looks like we have a Halley's Comet, David Bowie, Zamorano, Vietnam Janica, and I have, of course, repeats. So these guys look a little rough because in between, because of the fluctuating temperatures, fluctuating weather, I have some rust. I've been treating that for a little while. And then we've been having these little bugs that are actually causing these white marks. And here's some dead ones that I sprayed yesterday. So these little bugs are actually biting the plants and causing the discoloration. So that's a big problem here and apparently in other parts of Texas too. So these guys are really ruining my plants, and you'll see more of what they're doing. Yeah, so I've been collecting more dragon fruit varieties, and this is the most recent batch of cuttings that I bought from nurseries. So this area right here is full sun, and it has most of my plants that have the 5-gallon self-watering, self-wicking containers. I do have a video where I make that for my dragon fruit trellises. It's really easy, really simple. You don't have to water these things every day, and the soil will stay moist. So these plants have really enjoyed it, and they're in full sun and they're liking it. So I'll go ahead and take a look. So this right here is a kumquat tree. I've had this one for a while, and it does have some fruit on it. It had a lot more, but it does have a nice number of fruit on it. This is a goji berry. Had it for a while. This is goji berries. It's the second time they're blooming, and it does have some forming berries on it. So these 3 trees right here are the tamarinds that are featured in the various update videos. So we have Tamarindus, Tam 1, and Indica, and these trees were impacted by the freeze, but they have grown back very nicely. They're really bushy, they're really tall. I might have to prune them a little bit because as you see, it's still bare up here. They lost their tops, but they're looking really good right now, and they just love these self-wicking, self-watering containers, so they're doing very well. Right here is a Barbados cherry. Had this one for a while. I do need to tame it a little bit, but it's a Barbados cherry tree, or a tropical cherry tree, so this will love the heat. And these right here are my Cherimoya seedlings. These guys will be 3 years old next week, so I am excited to have these. I'm surprised how big they've grown. These guys, oh my gosh, it's really cool to see these guys grow every week. They're at least probably 6.5 feet with the container. Just fertilizing them. I haven't pruned them. They've done very well. They just love their containers, and I'm really excited to have them. So these are my 3-year-old Cherimoya seedlings. They just look amazing right now. So over here in this back corner, we have a calamundine citrus tree, but it's a little calamundine, really small plant. This is a dwarf Barbados cherry. Does need to be pruned a little bit, but it's looking good. We have a Meyer lemon tree. Meyer lemon tree. This right here is a dwarf pomegranate. So that one that I showed you in the other station. So that plant came from fruit from this tree. So it is a second generation. And it's growing very well. It's been flowering off and on for the past few months. And it does have several pomegranates on it. So these are the twins right here. So I think it has about 5 of them on here. If we look right here, so these 3 buckets are pawpaw trees. I've never had a pawpaw before. Last year I heard about pawpaws, and I heard that they are native to the United States. So they do naturally grow definitely here in Texas on the East Coast. They are like the largest native plant in the US. So I got 3 trees. I got this little guy first, which has actually gotten taller, I noticed. Okay. Got this guy first, and then I've had these 2 for about 2 months, and I'm really excited to see how these look. And these are related to Cherimoyas, because when I saw them in the nursery, I thought it was a Cherimoya tree, but come to find out it was pawpaw. So I'm really excited about these trees. So right here is a Eureka variegated pink lemon. It's a nice little tree. Had this for a while. These two bushy trees and these two containers, they're both dwarf Barbados cherries. One is labeled Barbados cherries, but I discovered they're the same thing. It was a mislabeling. And these guys are actually blooming for the second time. So these guys did have fruit, I believe, back in July, if not late June. And I had some little cherries off of them. They're mild tasting. They're supposed to be sour on the sour side. But I'm glad that these guys are fruiting and blooming for the second time. I knew that was going to happen. So we got a little flower right here. And these guys are doing very well. So this area is full sun with a 30% shade cloth. So I wanted to put my cacti here and any other plant that could use some full sun but didn't need to get scorched. So this is a really safe station for them. And I believe I had the drop cloth for about 2 months now. And it's doing very well. So in this corner here, this is Tammy the Tamarind. She is 6.5 years old. She looks awesome. She actually could use a prune. And she too was impacted by the freeze, because as you can see, the top is completely dead. But what happened was, so right where my hand is, right in the middle of the tree, was where everything died above where my hand is. But as the months came on, as you can see, all this new growth, new branches, new side branches here where my hand is. Yeah, just everything up here came and grew after the freeze. So Tammy is still kicking. She's still kicking, very much so, and she's doing great. I could definitely do another prune, because I just wanted her to, I didn't want these guys to grow however they wanted. Y'all got slammed, so I just let y'all do whatever you want. But definitely now Tammy can use a big prune, but she looks awesome. So this Tammy the Tamarind, 6.5 years old. Oh boy, hope to get some signs of fruiting pretty soon. So I have some loquats. These are various ages, 1 year to 2 years old. I have some Ecuador paloras, and again, you see this damage from these bugs. I just sprayed them. So they're doing a number on these plants, but the plants are okay. It's just they're losing their chlorophyll. These are Chimera dragon fruit. So there's a chimera right here. You see the red skin. That's a characteristic of a chimera, and they also bend and form in different shapes. This right here should be a variegated dragon fruit. I have another variegated dragon fruit. So this one's looking, again, impacted by the bugs. This is another one that recovered from the freeze. As you can see, it died back here and has since regrown. And this is actually like a moon cactus. I keep looking at it, but it grew like that. So this is a very interesting, weird looking plant, and it is a very, very slow grower. So right here is another batch of dragon fruit cuttings that I purchased. We have American Beauty, Purple Haze, Edgar's Baby. These are white, so assumed Vietnam white. And then of course I have some more of those moon cactus rootstocks that are growing. So there's a few varieties here. Back there are some prickly pear pads. These right here are 1 year old sugar apples, so they're looking very good. I've put them in here recently, and they've grown over the past few weeks. So this little plant right here is a Selenia ceres. We have some elderberries. These are pomegranates from seeds. They're 1.5 years. Another variegated dragon fruit. Assorted cacti, Peruvian apple roadkill cactus, and Peruvian apple monstros. And I thought I knew what that one was, but yeah, these are just hanging out here. Again, some more pomegranates, loquats, sneaky mulberries. These guys are popping up everywhere. So this is the fourth tamarind. This is tamarind number 2, and this plant was actually unharmed by the freeze. So it is as it is. It didn't have to recover. It didn't get damaged at all. And this is the one with the alternating branches. I never pruned this tree, so it's looking really great right now. So right here is my dragon fruit station. Unfortunately, I lost a bunch of my dragon fruits from that freeze, and I've since been collecting new varieties. Luckily, I got cuttings. I made cuttings before that freeze happened, and a lot of these cuttings are still here. So, you know, in theory, those plants that I lost are still technically here because I do have cuttings from them. So I've been making a lot of 5-gallon self-watering, self-wicking buckets. Again, I have a video where I show you how I made them, and I'll go ahead and take a look at them. So these are Ecuador Paloras, the ones that I made from seeds, and they're cuttings from the ones that I lost. And they're doing really good. They're in these black buckets. These two are Purple Haze. 2 Purple Haze cuttings. These are Edgar's Babies. So these are actually 2 plants with 3 branches. Might fix that one day. This plant right here is the only one that survived the freeze unharmed. Don't know how. And it has since grown these really big branches. So I'm really excited to have one that was unharmed and is still a good size. So right here is an American Beauty. We have 2 more Ecuador Paloras. 2 more Ecuador Palora cuttings. They're looking really good. This plant right here is my favorite. It is a Zamorano dragon fruit. So Zamorano, look at all these branches. And I'm going to have to give it a haircut. I might trim it, I might top it right there today. And I also want to trim these really big ones and root them and have a duplicate copy. So I do have a lot of Zamorano cuttings. So I'm going to have to give this guy a haircut pretty soon. Look like some more Edgar's Babies. This one's growing on the top. This is a good sign. So this interesting one is a Ocaponis. It is a red flesh, red skin variety. And it does have this chalky appearance. So this one's looking good. And you also have another Ecuador Palora. This one does need a trim too. And this is one of my larger Ecuador Paloras from seed. This one will be 3 years old in February, and this one also was another one that survived because at the time it was sitting on the ground, and now it has grown all of these really big branches. So all that's back here was from this year. I could prune it one more time, and it is on its own stand, and it's doing very well. So I hope to see some action from this plant in the next year or so, but I really hope that this one does fruit pretty soon. It's on its way and it has a lot of mass on it. Over here were Roselle hibiscus. They didn't do very well. I think it's too hot for them, or the setup is a little weird. This is a self-watering container, but I think it's a little too hot for them. But I can still, I still eat the leaf. They do have a sour taste on them. So these 2 plants are my Peruvian apples. Had them since, I believe, last October. So it's almost, again, close to a year. Peruvian apple, Monstrose Peruvian apple. This one tripled in size. This one definitely probably doubled in height. But this one's definitely a slower grower compared to this one. So if I go over here, I have 2 more buckets. And these guys are my Pakistan mulberries. Had these for a while. I had these plants on my wish list. So these will grow the really long mulberries. They'll be like 2 to 3 inches. So I'm really excited to have them. So let me quickly show you guys what's currently growing in our mature trees. As you can see, we have the fig trees, peach tree. They've already dropped their fruit for the year. We have the Eureka persimmon. This is a Celeste fig. I planted that in May. We have our pomegranates that are resurrecting from the freeze. We have a Santa Rosa plum that had fruit back in May or June. We might not have many Eureka persimmons this year because this tree is really stressed. We've had really unpredictable weather, but it's hard to see, but the fruit is mostly on the tops. Yes, kind of hard to see this lighting, but they're mostly on the top. The lower ones are gone, so we might not have as many, but we do have a lot more American persimmons. So I do have a persimmon video, and I incorrectly referred to this one as an American persimmon, but this is actually American because last year in 2020 this fruited for the first time. So this is an American persimmon. This tree fruited for the first time last year, and this year we have a ton more. I love these. These are what I call punch your mouth sweet. That's how sweet they are. Every time I ate one, I was like, whoa, just taken aback how sweet they are. And these are loaded with seeds, and they should be ready. It's middle August now. These should start getting ready by October. So I hope to be able to germinate these seeds too. So that's another project that's in the works. I just have to wait until these guys get in season, but we have a lot more of these fruits this year. As you can see, we have our peach trees. They've already dropped their fruit. They were dropping all July, and now we're doing the last season pruning. We do have our fig trees. These did die back from the freeze, but they're bigger than ever. Oh, there's a ripe one. Okay. Yeah, these guys should start getting ready probably next few weeks or so. Huh, look at this. Oh, there's another one. There's another good one back there too. So yeah, these guys should start getting ready pretty soon. It's like a bird got this, but I'll give it to the chickens. And that's what they look like. So this is, I believe this is an Alma, but it's also related to the Texas Everbearing. I think it's an Alma because it's just slightly different and it has more of a reddish tint on the inside. So our figs are just about getting ready, because usually by the end of August they'll start getting ready. So I'm really excited. So we do have a loquat. I believe this loquat is 5 years old from seeds. It did try to fruit last year in September, late fall 2020, but it was really slow, and then the freeze knocked it out. It actually knocked out all loquats in the state, so we didn't get any loquats at all this spring, the entire state. So this tree has been recovering since then. It's doing very well. So hopefully in the next few months or so, I'll be able to see if it's trying to fruit again. I might check the same thing with mature trees that are been fruiting for years. This is definitely the watch time for the loquats, just to see how well it recovered from the freeze. So these are all that's currently in season. It's mostly figs and persimmons at this point. And then of course with my smaller trees, we're going to have goji berries, kumquats, dwarf Barbados cherries, and maybe miracle berries. So I'm really excited to enjoy more fruit throughout this year. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tour. There are so many more exotic fruits that I want to explore. There's so many seeds that I want to plant. There's always something to do with the plants, whether it is pruning them, trimming them, making new cuttings. I just love to get involved with my fruit trees and watching them grow each and every week. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I really appreciate everybody subscribing, liking, watching my videos, and learning from my videos. Again, I have so many more video ideas in the works. As you saw from the tour, there are some that are in progress, so I hope to get those out pretty soon. And also, if you guys want to see any updated news, definitely follow my other social medias, Shamrock Girl World on Instagram and Facebook. I tend to post there at least 3 times a week, and I post about what's growing, what's new, things that I've bought, things that I've discovered, and then anything related to fruit trees and the occasional Irish music and dance. So if you guys want the most recent news, definitely follow my Instagram and Facebook pages. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope to get a lot more out soon. And thank you for the 5,000 subscribers. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell for more videos about exotic fruits, growing exotic fruits, gardening, outdoor crafts, and more. Thank you.